What's up, y'all? Welcome back. It's your girl Naya Williams, and I'm back with another chakra healing video. I know it's been a minute since I touched on the next chakra in my chakra healing series. I needed time to work on other content creations, work on building myself up, my mental, taking care of myself. I needed time for that. So thank you guys for being so patient with me on this journey and explaining these points and topics on how I healed these different parts of my chakra and how I'm still healing it. Like, healing is a journey. It's not something that just happens overnight and just boom, you're healed 100%. Like, no, it's a journey. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes going through certain experiences for you to actually heal something. Like, healing is not linear. It's not one straight thing that you can do, but these are points and topics and tools that I use in order to open up my throat chakra. So even as I'm speaking, I feel the activation in my throat, like the little burning sensation, the little fiery sensation, the little hot little sensation in your throat a little bit. So let's get to it. If you're new here, welcome. We always smoke in all of our videos, so if you got one, spark it up. If you don't, go get one. If you don't smoke, get whatever you do use to relax and ease your mind, whether it be music or your partner, your animal. Go pet your dog, go pet your cat, whatever it may be, go get it, and let's get into it. Yeah. There's a lot of tools that you could use for activating your throat chakra, because it's language, it's speaking, it's words, it's the vibrations in your vocal cords that are coming out. So there's a lot of fucking things that you can use, a lot of different fucking things you can use in order to activate this, and it all just aligns to what's for you. It's not about what other people are doing or what they recommended. This is just a list. This is just the things that I do, the things that I use. So you could take it with a grain of salt. You could take it all in if you're open to educating yourself on it. But if not, just do what's right for you. One thing that helped me strengthen my communicative skills, which is a part of my throat chakra, what that was for me was expanding my vocabulary on the type of words that I use, understand the meaning of it, the definition of it, instead of just blatantly just throwing out words that I did not even know the true meanings behind, and that really didn't resonate or align with the situation that was happening. Like how people just throw around and call motherfuckers narcissists, like that type of shit. You have to understand what a narcissist is, the tendencies, the traits of a narcissist, in order for you to call somebody a narcissist. Or even if they have narcissistic tendencies, you have to know what those look like before you go out and say these things, because you can be saying stuff but you don't really know the true meaning behind it. So your communication skills would be thrown off entirely. It would be misaligned. That's the word. It would be misaligned. The communication would be so off, it's misaligned to the true actions in the true situation as a whole. Okay, as a fucking whole. So you gotta expand your vocabulary, expand the words that you use. And I'm not just saying to just become smarter, but to be more direct and on point with what you're trying to describe. Now that also leads into having to manage your thoughts and your emotions as well, because sometimes a lot of people, they use their thoughts and their emotions to speak for them. Meaning, like, if you told yourself so many lies, and that's the biggest thing that blocks the throat chakra is lies. So if you told yourself so many lies over the years or over the months or over the weeks that this person is doing something intentionally to hurt you or to harm you or to degrade you or whatever it is that they're trying to do to you, you have sped out this lie so many motherfucking times, and not to other people but to yourself. Okay, the biggest lies are the lies that we tell ourselves. Okay, those are the ones that do the most damage. That's the ones that do the most hurt. That's the ones that do the most programming in our subconscious mind to keep us in a space that constantly blames other people for the way that our life looks. Like those type of lies that we constantly tell ourselves are the ones that are going to stop you from actually getting to that space of communicating directly with self. So if you have unmanaged thoughts, if you have unmanaged emotions, these things can get in the way of you communicating with yourself the truth. because that's what's going to actually heal the throat chakra, is the truth, not the lies, not the things that we constantly tell ourselves, that we program ourselves to believe. For example, the way that your life looks is because of what somebody else is doing to you. Another lie that you could tell yourself is somebody's actions or the way that they're behaving revolves around you, meaning you have so much influence over somebody else's actions and decisions and what they got going on in life, instead of understanding that people move on with their life, people do things with their life that have nothing to do with you. There's so many different things that we can tell ourselves, especially in this age of the information age, where everything is on social media, where everything is online, and it's easy access for you to get this information. You know, we cloud our judgment, we cloud our beliefs, we cloud what other people's intentions are, we cloud just the realistic what is it called, the the realistic raw truth side of things, not the shit that you want to peel back people's layers and see how their raw behaviors and patterns are. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the shit you tell yourself subconsciously, the things that you tolerate, the things that you sit around and tell yourself that you deserve this type of shit, when in reality you don't move on that type of vibration. Like the things that you talk to yourself about in private, like those are the type of deep things that people do not want to bring to the surface, because it's a lot of negativity, it's a lot of ugliness, it's a lot of dirty shit, it's a lot of one-sided judgmental shit. Nobody wants to bring this shit to the surface. This is why a lot of people say journal, you know, write your shit down. This is why a lot of people sing. This is why a lot of people are artists, and they express their emotions, they express those sides of them in a deep and intimate way, where it helps them open up their throat chakra. You know, singing is also one of the things that can help you open your throat chakra, like singing songs that resonate with you, singing songs that actually like put your soul in this place, like, yes, this is what I'm feeling internally, like sing this motherfucking shit, like put that shit on repeat as many times as you need to in order for you to heal from this situation. But sing, you know, for some people, they go on social media and they say what they want to say and put their business all out like that, and their personal lives and what they're going through with people. And in a way, yes, that is expressing yourself through your throat chakra, but there's always a fucking silver lining to that shit. You know, there's always a boundary that has to be made when it comes to social media and what you post on social media. For me personally, I don't say or put my personal business out like that. I don't be saying what I be going through or telling people what I be going through with individuals, because that's none of y'all's business, okay? It's not the social media's business to know what I'm going through personally, so I'm not going to give that type of information. I'm going to keep that shit to myself. But what I've learned in those situations, that is up to me if I want to share it or not. And this is why I come on here and I share the information that I share, and I do these videos, because these are the things that I've learned and actually reflected on and actually integrated with personally. This is not something that I just felt because I've been through this experience multiple times. Like, no, this is something that I had to actually look at it as a whole entire picture. And like I said, that goes back to how you communicate with yourself internally and in private and behind closed doors. Like, what do you say to yourself when you're in these situations, when you're in these moments of feeling emotional, feeling vulnerable? Do you blame the person for everything that you're feeling, or do you take accountability for the way that you're feeling? Do you see it as one person making all the decisions and you're just sitting here just driving along and they're just triggering you and you become the victim? Or are you actually owning up to the truth that not only do they have flaws, but I got flaws too? Not only do they have issues, but I got issues too, and everybody's just trying to get through this life shit together and as a whole, not as like a whole entire world thing, but like personally as a whole individual. You're trying to just navigate through life as a whole person, as a whole being, you know, with your emotions intact, your thoughts intact, and everything intact, but also managed. You know, there are certain things that people say or people do that are just socially, like when it comes to socializing with individuals and building relationships and talking to people, those types of things are just socially unacceptable. And I will do a whole separate video on the list of things that are socially unacceptable that nobody should really be fucking doing, but I'll give you a couple of them. One of them is can't live in the present moment. Like, you just cannot, you can't stay in the present moment and what people are doing in the now. You always gotta bring shit up from the fucking past, and that also has to do with the way that you communicate with yourself when it comes to the certain situations that you're in. Like, are you constantly pointing out people's flaws and what they did wrong to you in past situations and in past incidents, to where now that people are on a whole different vibration and a whole different level with themselves, you can't even meet them there? Like, that's socially unacceptable. Struggling to empathize with each other, like just giving the empathy and understanding that nobody's fucking perfect on this fucking world. Everybody's human at the end of the fucking day. Like, everybody got flaws, everybody got shit that they got going on. Like, can you empathize with people on the real shit that they got going on? Like, fuck all of the surface level shit in the bullshit that you want to, what is it called, maximize. Yeah, fuck the bullshit that you want to maximize. Look at the shit that you're minimizing and you're trying to sweep under the fucking rug. Maximize that shit too. Zoom in on that shit too. It will tell you a lot about yourself and that person too. You know, can't manage your emotions is also socially unacceptable. When you get mad or you get irritated or you get just simply triggered by what somebody said or what somebody's doing, and you just go on this whole emotional rant, you know, throwing a tantrum, crying for no motherfucking reason, yelling, snapping your neck, popping your gums, you know, just acting out entirely. That is socially unacceptable. It will literally have people looking at you like, and literally walking the fuck away. Like, this is type of things that will literally break any kind of relationship. It don't matter how deep or intimate that y'all got, it will break it, because these are socially unacceptable things. But these things come up because of the way that we was programmed. These things come up because of the lies that we tell ourselves continuously. These things come up because we have sat in this space of feeling overly emotional about the things that we have been through, that we're not looking at the whole picture and being like, I had a part to play in all of this shit. As much as I want to blame this person, as much I want to say it's this person's fault for the reason why shit has happened the way that it's happened, I also had a part to play in this too. And this is where my throat chakra started to get more activated, when I started to take more accountability for shit and stop blaming everybody for everything. Like, girl, everybody got their reasons for why they moved that way that they moved with you, but just because they move that way doesn't mean that they're a bad fucking person. It doesn't mean that they're evil. It doesn't mean that they're wicked. It doesn't mean that they're low vibrational. It just means they're on a time that they are on, which doesn't align with what you're on. Be okay with that shit. And this is the type of conversations that I have to have with myself repeatedly. Every time that I check my mental, meaning every time I check the way that I process things, every time that I check what's going on through my fucking mind, like the thoughts that are going through my head, I always tell myself, check your fucking words. Check what the fuck you're saying in your head. Because the minute that you say this shit out loud, you have manifested a reality that you say you don't want to be on, but you're living on internally. So those conversations that I have to have with self are very sacred, are very deep, is very loving, and it has so much empathy and it has so much compassion, because I have to understand I was raised to think a certain way, and I'm trying to raise myself to think a different way. So it's a two different fucking realms going on, two different realities happening at the same motherfucking time. So I have to give myself so much time and so much intention with the way that I talk. This is not something that I could just be like, oh well, I'm just gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say because that's what I'm feeling. Like, no girl, there's a time and a place for everything. That's something that I also had to understand as well. A time and a place for everything. For when your emotions need to be expressed, for when they don't need to be expressed, for when you should move certain ways, so when you should fight, flight, flee, whatever the fuck your response is. There's a time and a place for every fucking thing. You're not being the same way with every single situation. You can't do that. That's not how the world works. But those triggers and those patterns that you see within yourself, they're your responsibility to take care of. It's nobody else's responsibility to take care of those emotional triggers, those mental triggers. It's nobody else's responsibility to take care of that shit, to help you heal that shit, to help you work through that shit. It's your responsibility to get through that shit. how you go about it and whose information and whose knowledge and whose wisdom you want to take in is all up to you as well. Healing my throat chakra and healing all of these blockages, all of these lies that I have told myself over the years. I had to realize that a lot of the removing that I had to do was just telling myself the truth. It's required me to be a lot more, like I said, truthful with myself. Telling myself, like, Naya, the way that things are set up is because you allowed it to happen. The way that things are going is because you did not speak up. The way that people are handling you is because you have tolerated things for so fucking long. The way that shit keeps happening, the way that this happening, is because you don't set any boundaries. Like, these are the types of things that I had to be real with myself about. And just like I said in my last video, in one of my previous videos about being a mirror and a reflection, not saying anything to other people, is because people have to come to that realization on their own. As much as you want to tell somebody, hey, you don't got any integrity, hey, you don't set no fucking boundaries, hey, you don't do this or you don't do that. As much as you want to tell somebody that, make sure that you're reflecting with self, and make sure you're tapping into yourself first, to make sure that the parts that you're picking out in other people are not a reflection of things that you have to integrate with. So for example, before I even tell somebody, hey, you're being overly emotional and you shouldn't be sitting here crying behind what I just said, I have to sit here and make sure that I can feel my emotions to the depth of how I'm feeling. It helps me empathize with other people. So if I know how to feel my feelings and I go deep within myself to feel how I feel, then when somebody expresses how they feel, I should be able to meet them with that empathy, just like I met myself with it. So it's like, at one point I wasn't like that. At one point I was just like, bitch, shut the fuck up, because you're just doing too much, you know, or you're just saying too much, or you just want to say whatever the fuck you want to say because you're not listening to nobody. I had to make sure that, am I only saying what the fuck I'm saying because I don't want to listen to nobody? Like, type shit like that. Like, you have to check yourself out the fucking door. Like, a lot of people, yes, there's people out there that would check you at the door for you, but I am in a space where I check myself at the door before I even get there. I make sure, okay, my lip gloss is on, my hair is fixed, make sure my nails are done, my feet got some lotion on them so they're not looking crusty or ashy, you know, my breath don't stink, you know, I'm looking good, I'm feeling good, my energy's intact, I'm ready to go, I'm not that fucked up, I got my smoke. If I get irritated, like, I got shit in place for me to handle certain situations, whatever fucking happens, and also to keep myself in check. Check yourself at the fucking door. Don't rely on other people to check you. Don't expect people to speak up when you fuck up, because everybody's not going to. Not everybody's going to sit here and be like, well, bitch, you fucked up because you said X, Y, and Z. No. And especially if you react in a certain way that doesn't hold space for constructive criticism. If somebody tells you, hey, chill out, you're doing too much, or you're saying too much, or you're going over the fucking limit, or your mind is racing at 100 miles per hour, to give yourself time to breathe, you won't be able to receive that. You'll be like, oh, they're trying to shut me down, they're trying to shush me up, they're trying to take my spirituality and take this and take that, when nobody's trying to take anything from you. Nobody's trying to take a damn thing from you. People are trying to help you, and you're not open for that help. You just got to remember the communication with your mental and your mind is so fucking important. You cannot continue to lie to yourself in these situations as if nobody, or if everybody did something wrong to you and you didn't do something wrong to yourself in the first place. That's just something that, if you continue to do, it's just going to continue to grow. It's just going to continue to get deeper, because life goes on. Experiences still happen. People still go in and out of relationships at the end of the day. And if you continue to tell yourself these lies, you'll continue to have these experiences. Your throat chakra is connected to the root of how you manifest things. It's what you speak into existence. It's the way that you talk to the universe, and what you tell the universe you need, or what you tell yourself that you need. If you're saying that you want a certain type of life or a certain type of experience, and you get that, but you don't know how to communicate your way through that experience, it's gonna fall apart. Like, there's so many things that play into that type of chakra that are that's tied to that chakra. There's so many different things that are connected to that chakra on so many different levels, whether it's the way that you dance, the way that you eat, the way that you talk to your loved ones, the way that you go about taking care of your day-to-day things. Like, there's so many different things that is tied to your throat chakra. You just have to make sure that it's clear and direct communication with self, with you. Because if you're not telling yourself the truth, you'll continue to have that blockages of lies. All them blockages. So with that being said, I hope this message resonated with you. And if it did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like, comment down below. Let me know if you guys love this chakra healing series. If you don't, it's okay. I'm still fucking doing it anyways. But if you love it, I'll do more of it, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will always see you guys in the next one.